Whether you're watching, listening or reading this, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, and today we're going to be talking about finding your work-life balance and equilibrium. So the Runpreneur vlog is part of the Runpreneur challenge, which is our mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It is a staggering 40,075 kilometres. It's going to take somewhere in the region of 11 years to accomplish, so plenty of time to raise that money. I will commit to running whilst vlogging a minimum of 5 kilometres every day, and I'll even do it barefoot style. So to find out how to get involved and support the challenge, please check out the links in my bios and subscribe to this content, like it and share it as well. So as always, let's get started. So, finding your work-life balance and equilibrium. So this is something that I've battled with many times, and I continue to battle with on a regular basis. Now, we all have our busy lives. Everybody has a busy life because it's all relative. Yes, some people have busier lives than others, but it's all relative to what that individual classifies as busy and what another individual doesn't. So first and foremost, don't compare yourself to others. Everybody is unique. Everybody has a unique lifestyle. Everybody has unique expectations of what they want from their given life. So it is a Wednesday morning today where we call it Wednesday Wellbeing. We're talking about mindset, mental health, well-being, and this is something that is so important to get right. It's a work-life balance. If you don't get that wrong, it all kind of stems from here. And people who live under immense pressure, immense stress, immense overwhelm and anxiety often don't have that balance right, which is why we need to obviously discuss it and understand how we can try and find that balance, which is most important. So it is on this morning's vlog. It's funny weather. It's supposed to be summer. It's about 12-13 degrees, so not particularly warm, but it feels quite humid and heavy. You can kind of almost be breathing in thick air, if that makes sense. It's a kind of a strange sensation. So it's quite tiring running conditions this morning. You can probably hear me gasping a little bit more than usual. So I'll try and get through this without being too waffly. So first and foremost, I think when you're addressing work-life balance, you need to ultimately understand the why, what you're doing all this for, okay? So when we say life balance, okay, what do you want out of life? Do you want to be able to spend more time with your family? You may not have a family. You may want more time to go traveling. Whatever that may be, I think you have to kind of understand what that looks like. And to me, I have a pretty straightforward plan for my life. I want to spend as much time with my family as possible. I appreciate I sacrifice it during projects, but I want to spend more time with my family. I want to have at least 4 nice holidays every year. Okay, so every quarter we're creating cool memories as a family. That's really important to me. And I want to have the flexibility to be there at short notice whenever I'm needed to ensure that my family is supported adequately. So that's kind of giving you an understanding of where I'm coming from and what I'm looking for. Now, in order to achieve that, you've obviously got a number of considerations. You have to work, you have to earn enough money to kind of sustain that lifestyle. It's not lavish by any stretch. When I say 4 holidays, one could be camping, another one could be, something local, in the UK, a staycation, something like that. So they don't have to be massive holidays, but we would like a couple of nice ones every year and a couple of kind of smaller, easygoing trips away as well, because I think it's really important to have that absolute quality time as a family. So that kind of gives me the motivation for what I need to do from a work perspective. You then need to look at kind of what do you need to generate as an income to kind of service that type of lifestyle. Okay, you then need to look at what other sources of income do you have into your family. You might have a spouse who's earning an income as well. You might not have a job. There could be lots of different considerations that you have. But I think dissecting and understanding this is really important because it gives you clarity. Okay, so once you've got that kind of clarity on what you need, it's to then give you a relatively clear overview of what you need to do. Because first things first, there's a lot of people, what's the definition of insanity? Well, it's doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. And I question the sanity of so many people, because you sit there and you think, right, I'm not earning enough to have the lifestyle that I want. But you know what? I'm safe and secure. I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. But you know what? Hopefully I'll get more money from it. Well, okay, pay rises happen, but they're normally very subtle and small incremental increases. So it's not kind of life-changing. So if you want the lifestyle that you've set yourself and you're not earning enough money, you need to have a plan on how you're going to make up the deficit. Okay, so if you just sit there doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, it's not going to happen. It's the definition of insanity. So you need to have a plan from where you are today to get to where you want to be. And I'll talk about this in a separate episode, but then you want contingency planning on top of that if something goes wrong. But we'll talk about that on another episode altogether. So once you kind of understand those things, you should have a relatively clear vision in your mind of what work-life balance is going to look like to you. Okay, so we've talked about lifestyle, we've talked about work, and we've talked about what each needs to provide to enable the other to flourish. Okay, so that's really, really important. It's then finding your equilibrium. Okay, and what I sometimes find is in my setup, my wife does some minimal part-time work because she likes that to keep my mind active and do it, but it's not, she enjoys it, absolutely, but it's not going to make a life-changing difference to our earnings, okay, but she does that for her, which is absolutely amazing, and she's happy doing that, and I support her in whatever she chooses to do. But the point I'm making here is that the pressure is pretty significant on me from a work perspective. Okay, now, me and my wife are a complete partnership. So to the contrary, the pressure on my wife is extreme at times from a lifestyle perspective. I want more time with the kids and the family. She probably occasionally wants a bit less because she's having to do it all the time. So it is yin and yang. It's a partnership, and we often have to talk and struggle our way through that partnership, as so many other couples and married couples have to kind of deal with. And the issue that I often face is when I'm on to something or working on something which is going to create that difference for us, I get sucked into it deeper than I perhaps should. But my argument is it's just a phase, it's a project, I'll get this done and then it'll be easier. But the reality is it often isn't, and it's then just the next thing that I kind of take on and the next thing. So it's difficult to find that equilibrium and that balance, and to be honest, that's what this running vlog has helped me no end. I come out for a bit of time away from work, away from life, so I can process the daily stresses in my life. I can gain clarity on what's gone on, I can refocus my attention, I can clear my head, and I can move on. And I call this a release mechanism, and it's that ability to overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety, which this running blog has given me, which has been such an important part of my life, because it's like counselling. I forget that this goes public, but it's like counselling for me, and it enables me that headspace to process what's going on, to analyse and to say, you know what, I need to change this, or I'm doing this wrong. Without this reflection time, I'd never change, I'd never improve, and I'd probably be working harder, I'd probably be doing lots of things at the detriment of what I'm actually trying to achieve. So this is how I find, or try to find, my equilibrium. I haven't got it yet. It's not like it's a destination or a goal. I'm just trying to get gradually better at it. Okay, so again, I always say that there's no such thing as perfection, but that doesn't mean we can't strive to be perfect. So I'll never get this perfect, okay? But if I strive to be better at it every single day, then I will inevitably improve. And that's the most important thing for me in continuous improvement. So hopefully this has helped, okay? So we've talked about what work-life balance is and what equilibrium is. We've talked about how it works, how it knits together, how you need to kind of assess this and evaluate your own circumstances. We've talked about scenarios in my life on how I kind of use this stuff and how I try and find that better balance and that better equilibrium and continuous learning. So hopefully there was enough in this episode to inspire you to try and do something similar. So to summarise, the most important aspect of this to me is, number one is the clarity of what that work-life balance looks like. If you don't have that clarity, you don't know it, you're never going to be able to improve it because you've got nothing to kind of work towards. So it's really, really important to have that. Okay, it's then evaluating where you actually are and where you need to be and having a plan in place to kind of cover that. And then once you get closer to that, we talk about contingency planning on a separate episode, but that's something to consider. But then it's about improving that work-life balance and reflecting on what you're doing and ensuring that you have that mechanism, that release mechanism, to process what's going on in your life, to evaluate whether you are improving or you're regressing. Okay, really, really important you kind of understand that, because then you get a chance to correct it. If you don't have that correcting mechanism by having that reflection time, which I get through run vlogging, you might be getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it could be a detriment to your marriage and your personal life. So hope this is useful. If you've got any questions on this stuff, drop me a comment, I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. Do check out the links in my bios where you can find out more about the Runpreneur Challenge, which is our mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of 1 lap around the world. And I'll leave you with, as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.